Hello, Zena. Looks like we found Polaris. Okay. Day has not been good. My big telescope just suffered a catastrophic failure, so I will not be able to look into it until tomorrow because it's dark now. So I'm trying to improvise and see what we can do to salvage what is a beautiful clear night. I had a whole schedule ready, which ain't gonna happen right now. So let's start with sending DWARF to do what DWARF does best, namely clusters. And as soon as we have DWARF busy, we will focus on getting other things going. Okay, DWARF M92. Hello, Rick. Rick, we are in Pompey, New York, upstate New York. And I could show you something other than the deer. There was a bear in the neighborhood earlier this morning. Alright, let's see where TCRB is and see if it has exploded yet. TCRB may just be beyond reach. Let's see if we can get to it. Objects. I see 4587. All right, okay, go there for a second. Settings, shutter, 10, infrared cut, go. Rick, the main things that D3 will give you are the dual band filter. If you do not have one external to your DWARF, then a dual band filter is going to allow you to image nebulae, which DWARF 2 does not. And the second thing is the wide angle camera you'll be able to stack. These are the two main differences. Hi Paulette. Alright, let's go with this one. This is TCRB, and obviously it has not exploded yet, and we have quite a few satellites going through. We're supposed to do an experiment tonight, and that is allowing Bill to take over the audio so that we will have the video coming from New York and the audio from Kentucky. So we're waiting for Bill so we can test that. Last communication I had with DWARF Lab is they are promising to get me my D3, my DWARF 3 soon. As soon as we have it, we will do a side-by-side comparison. Rick, don't forget, there is Bill. Bill, I am in the Google Meets. Do you want to hop on, please? Click on the link and see if we can get you. There is Bill. You may want to turn off your video, please, and turn on your audio. I'm trying to save cycles. Okay. Do you have your audio on? All right. Let's see how we can increase your audio for a minute.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm trying to raise the volume here.
Oh, okay.
Can you speak, please?
Yes, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 4,
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
All right, the audio is all yours. Let's see if Zena and Paulette can hear you.
Hello, Zanina. Hello, Paulette. Ina, can you hear me? And Paulette, can you hear me?
She's still in Michigan.
Trying to put the YouTube up on my large screen, so I can follow the text chats on my computer here. Thank you, Rick.
So looks like this part of the experiment is working.
Yeah.
My big scope just suffered a catastrophic failure.
Uh-oh.
For some reason, the mount is totally out of control. So I shut it off and very quickly pulled the DWARF and the Seestar. I had a long list of targets planned, so now we have to plan all over again.
Looks like you have some beautiful clear skies tonight.
Yeah. I am bummed because the International Space Station is right outside my window now.
And I believe you mentioned last night that there should be 5 passes over Pompey Observatory tonight.
Yeah, for some reason the angle of the sun relative to the International Space Station, all 5 passes tonight will be lit by the sun.
Great.
They're all at low altitudes, which is probably why the sun is catching them.
Great. I need to take a look at my app and see if we have any passes this evening here in Minnesota. Back to here.
In the meantime, we're looking at TCRB and it has not exploded yet. There it is. Unfortunately, well, I can show you planets that are going to look like little dots. Yeah, Seestar will probably do a little justice to the planets. Rick, it is worth mentioning or remembering that moving from 24 millimeter to 35 millimeter on the dwarf is going to give us about 50% more light capturing capability. Don't know how much that will do, but that's the third parameter that I'm looking at. The filter is going to be crucial, and I can show you later nebula being captured by both Seestar, which has a filter, and Dwarf 2, which does not have the filter. And you'll see the big difference. So if Dwarf 3 has the filter, and according to specs, it is narrower band than Seestar, which means it's going to be better than Seestar. That comparison side by side, I'm looking forward to doing. So Bill, we have the eastern sky open. If you have any suggestions for targets, let us know.
Thank you. I will do that. It looks like in southeast Minnesota this evening we have 3 ISS passes. The best one being at 1058, 49 degrees in elevation, and a very bright minus 4.2 magnitude.
Okay.
And then one at 1235, and then the last one is at 2:13 in the morning. Progressively lower in the sky and not as bright. So I might have to go out and look at the 1058 pass tonight.
According to Google, if it's a one-on-one session, which is what we have now, it can go on for a full 24 hours. If it's multiple the viewers or multiple participants, it'll only go on for an hour.
Yeah, I saw that in your email invitation. I thought that was interesting that one-on-one can be 24 hours, but 3 or more is limited to an hour. Very interesting.
I don't know what happens if we wait an hour and then invite everybody else to jump in, whether they will cut us off immediately or not.
That wouldn't be nice of them.
Thank you for reminding me to turn on the dew heater. I had turned it on the big scope. All right.
Dr. J, are you able to see Messier 10 in Ophiuchus?
I can see it, yes. We'll go to it with Seestar.
Okay. Probably a cluster, but always good to look at.
The angle at which it's looking at TCRB is so sharp. We're seeing the field rotation immediately. Okay, enough with TCRB. Let's get to M10. So we have M92 and M10. Gina, we had quite a wild session earlier this morning. You had some fun with the newcomers.
Hopefully they all subscribe.
All right, we have M10. DWARF remains a lot faster than Seestar in plate solving, in calibrating, in focusing, in seeking, and in stacking. Yes, it was last night for you, it was this morning for me. We had a whole bunch of citizen soldiers from various states who joined us earlier this morning, and they all subscribed, so that's not bad.
Great to hear.
Yeah, we finally jumped over 3,500. The folks in Oswego are planning on, I believe it's September 17th for the lunar eclipse. So we will have a multi-telescope extravaganza. Don't know what the big 16-inch will do for the eclipse, but there goes another satellite. May have mentioned to you that the folks in Oswego asked me to submit project ideas for the computer science majors. And one of the ideas that I submitted was detecting and deleting satellite trails from astro images. Ideally by looking at the previous frame, the next frame, and the pixels. For the detection, it's going to be previous frame and next frame. For the correction or the deletion, it's going to have to be both the current frame looking at the adjacent pixels and previous and subsequent frame looking at the same pixels, and using all these to average out and delete the trails. And then we'll sell the software to Seestar and DWARF Lab. Zena, that gentleman said that he owns 12 radio stations in Canada. Started his career at the radio station in Milwaukee or West Bend, and from there moved to Canada and started buying radio stations. I can look up his name, that's easy. We just need to go back to yesterday's stream. He said he subscribed, so unless he has a channel, he will not appear as a new subscriber. He does not appear on the list of subscribers. It's Michael McFerrin, McFerrin. Did you get that, Gina? Is that an ice cream cone or no, it has just confetti in it. According to Stellarium, M13 may be just about out of reach. But looking down, we have Rick, are you still with us? I can give you a demonstration on M27 of both Seestar and DWARF side by side. Calling Rick Whitefield. You still there? Okay, we'll still do the comparison. Since M27 right now is very nicely located. And then from there we can drop down to M15 and M2 and M72 and M73. Quite a few clusters in the neighborhood. But yeah, right now M27 is ideal. All right.
Dr. J, have you recently observed the Pelican Nebula in Cygnus? I don't recall IC5070.
We looked at it. 5070 is one of the Hoy's targets, so I visit it often.
Okay, thank you.
We can go to it. Don't know where it is right now. It's a bit too big of a target. Let me see if I can find it quickly. It is very doable. Yeah, it is very, very close to M29. If you'd rather do 5070, let's do that. And current session, Atlas.
The North American Nebula, Caldwell 20, is really a beautifully structured and colored nebula. Looking at my Valerian map here. That's fairly close to the Pelican, I believe.
It is. Pelican was recommended or suggested by the Atlas and DWARF 2, so we'll go for it.
Great. Thank you.
In the meantime, see, it's already there. DWARF is already there, and let's just make sure the settings are okay. IA enhance is on. Shutter. Since it is a nebula, we're going to leave the infrared on for now. And let's see what it gives us. Both have the filter on. By on, I mean it's pass as opposed to cut. With the big scope out of commission, this is going to end up being a short night. So we'll get some sleep and try to fix the scope tomorrow morning. Bill, did I tell you about the new design for the pier that I'm looking at getting for the new site?
I don't recall, but I'm very interested.
I've been looking for a pier, and they are pricey. To get one that is 4 or 5 foot high, you are looking at $1,000 plus a couple $100 in shipping.
Oh boy.
And then I discovered that the British had pioneered a new pier design that consists of 2 or 3 cement blocks on their edge, 8 by 8 by 16. You stand them on their edge and you drill a hole in the middle so you can either use a bolt or just Gorilla Glue that they recommend. And you end up with a pier for about $2.49.
Well,
and there is a guy who posted a very detailed video of how he built his pier. Let me post a video just for the fun of it.
you know, at that price, it's worth a try. Nothing to lose.
Well, he went out of his way, ended up with about $60 worth of supplies.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask, on your parcel of land, would you, prior to what we just discussed right here, were you thinking of like pouring a concrete circular or square foundation, or would you just set your pier up in the field and stabilize it that way?
My original plan or my vision was a 12 foot by 12 foot concrete slab.
Right.
So, and a 20 foot by 20 foot fence, 6 foot high,
Sure.
just to keep both two-legged and four-legged animals out to the extent possible.
The idea. And are you thinking of putting a dome down there as well?
Yeah, the Sky Shed Pod S. I have a Sky Shed Pod now, but Wayne Parker realized that as he's getting older, and so are we, that crawling into that 3 foot high door is becoming difficult. So he rebuilt his shed with the 6 foot high walls. So the whole thing is higher, and he added a motorized dome.
Very nice.
Yeah, and the price is not unreasonable. The entire structure with all the electronics is about $8,000.
Okay. Will you have any access to a source of electricity, or will you just have to rely on your batteries for charging?
That is a decision that I'm putting off for a couple of years.
Okay.
There is a power line is literally across the street, but
Okay.
the power company is not willing to go under the road.
Oh, okay.
And at this point, I hate putting a pole in a cemetery or next to a cemetery that is
Right.
considered a historical, not quite building, but whatever historical site.
I see.
Yeah, the cemetery dates back to the 1800s, early 1800s, and there are veterans buried in it. It's a very small cemetery. It's about half an acre. It's 135 feet by 165 feet. Tiny.
I
And
believe you had a picture of, or I could see the cemetery from those pictures you had of the few days ago when the woman agreed to sell you that piece of land. I think I could see it. It looked very old.
yeah, I discovered after I took that quick video with my cell phone that Google Street View did a better job. Much higher quality video that they took as they drove by. So
Okay.
let me quickly see. I was very confident that I could get all the power that I need. Right now, my big observatory uses less than 100 watts. Right now, it's not using anything because I turned it off. But the computer in it and the mount and the cameras and the dew heater and everything, less than 100 watts. That I can generate easily with one solar cell and a jackery. Or initially, I could simply carry the power supply back and forth with me as needed. But the dome, the motorized dome, is a 350 watt operation, and that now creates some issues.
Perhaps a portable generator?
Yeah, that is very doable.
Yeah.
I'm going to post a link that should take you straight to the street view of the cemetery.
Oh.
Well, it takes you to the cemetery, and you just need to go to street view, I guess.
Yep. That is definitely a very old cemetery. And as you said, very small and historic.
I already started fixing and maintaining the fence around it.
So as we look at this, Dr. J, facing the cemetery, where is your parcel of land in relation to that?
South of the cemetery, to the right.
To the right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if you move just a little bit down the road,
Yep.
you will see the semblance of a driveway through the grass.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be south of the cemetery. I wanted to have. I had a choice between being north of the cemetery or south of the cemetery. South makes more sense, given that we're in the northern hemisphere. This way, it gives me the full ecliptic year round.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they built the cemetery at the highest point on top of the hill. And there are not too many trees. and I don't expect that they'll be planting any more trees. When the New York State threatened to declare the cemetery as abandoned, the town moved in to maintain it. So the highway department mows the lawn, and but I definitely do have a challenge of, as much as possible, fixing the headstones and standing those that have fallen. Quite a few of them, as you can see from the picture, are at an angle or fallen on the ground.
Right. I see in the southwest corner a number of gravestones, like 3 or 4 that, and then one right in the middle too. But you see that a lot in very old cemeteries.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to do is stick a utility pole there. If you keep turning around, you will see the electric line across the road.
Yep.
And you may recognize the cable TV and internet. That's at every pole, it is crooked.
Oh.
Yeah,
Interesting, yeah.
The top 3 wires are the electric wires, obviously, and then below them is cable and phone.
Right.
I have a good friend who is an electric contractor. If I can convince him to go under the road, then that will solve some problems, but I have a feeling it's going to be an expensive proposition.
Yeah, I think so. Usually it is. How long, how recently did your Pompey Observatory, when did they put fiber optic into your location?
They have not yet.
Oh, okay.
The 700 megabit per second that I measured there is 5G. There is,
okay.
Yeah, at the cemetery there is incredibly good 5G coverage. T-Mobile.
Okay.
And for those of us who are over 55 years old, T-Mobile gave me a good deal, namely, it's $55 a month, unlimited data.
Oh, that's nice.
And this includes taxes, and it's unlimited everything.
That's that's a good package. As we look west underneath the power utility lines, is that the mountains, hills that block your view currently? Where
Yes.
your home is? Okay.
Yeah. If you look west, as the bird flies, I'm exactly 3 miles from this location.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful country.
It is. We used to live in Syracuse, right next to the university, half a mile from campus. And then one day, we got a parking ticket for parking in our driveway because the trunk of the car protruded over the sidewalk.
Oh, gee whiz.
We're talking about 6 inches in my own driveway. And that's when my wife said, I have had enough.
I would tend to agree.
She grew up on a farm with 80 plus acres. Her family is still farming in Western New York. And living in the city was not what she had in mind. So we started looking, and then this is where we ended up in Pompey.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
As you turn that map around, you probably see some of the silos, old silos sticking out there. If I could get one of those silos, the dome is already built in.
Yeah, that would be great.
But yeah, for now, the plan this year, convince the town to approve the subdivision and convince the state that there is no environmental impact.
Yeah.
I did something interesting earlier this evening that took 8 minutes, and that is registering Pompey Observatory as an LLC, as a limited liability corporation in New York State. I did it online, filled the form, submitted it, and less than 5 minutes later, I received approval.
Wow.
This way, I'll purchase the land under the LLC. So when kids decide to try to climb on the 6-foot fence and fall inside on a concrete slab, I will not lose my house.
You have to think ahead for those eventualities. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I was not the one thinking that. My cousin is a tax accountant. And secret of the truth. Bill, this was our friend from earlier this morning or last night. She joined recently.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And next step on Monday morning is to go to the IRS website and get an EIN. And I discovered something very, very interesting. Land is not tax deductible because it does not depreciate because they're not making any more.
I guess unless you live on the big island of Hawaii, Kilauea puts some more land, but you are correct. We're not making any.
Now, if we go back to astronomy for a moment, Gina, did you click on the link of the map? It should take you to the cemetery. At least that's Google's view of the cemetery. So back to astronomy, the difference between filter and no filter is evident. This is the Pelican Nebula, and Seestar is showing a semblance of nebulosity. Dwarf is not.
Yeah, what looks like dwarf from the picture I'm looking at is almost looks black and white, very little color. But the Seestar on the right definitely has some reddish, vibrant coloring to it. So, yeah.
Zena, I just provided the link again. So if all goes as planned, I should have a pier in place. I'm debating now the need for the slab. I'm also debating which scope will go there, and it's sounding more and more like locating smart telescopes as opposed to the very large Celestron scope is going to make more sense because they are a lot more readily remote controllable.
So would you would be able to control those telescopes from your home if it's 3 miles away?
Yeah, over the internet.
Very nice.
Zina, I'm surprised you're unable to see the link. It appears between, okay, I don't know if you have top chat enabled or live chat, but the link is between the last 2 messages that you sent. And anyway, good night to you too. I have been using a Google Chrome remote, which allows me by logging onto Google on 2 machines, I can slave one to the other and just pull the desktop and use it as if I'm sitting on it. Bill, do you have any idea what's going on here? You got the link. I don't know why Zina is unable to see it, unless she's using Macintosh, or she has a firewall that's blocking any links.
Yeah, I went and just checked on the top chat. Live chat shows your links. Top chat, and I'm using a Chromebook, shows your links, both of them, and then yeah. So it's not an issue between live chat and top chat. I could I'll go up right on a MacBook to see if there's anything going on with that.
No, the okay. Well, good night, Zina. We'll catch you tomorrow. Lauren, did you see the link?
The link, Dr. J, is good on a MacBook with the Chrome browser that I use mostly instead of Safari.
Okay.
Yeah, that's curious. I didn't.
Apparently, Zina is on her Android phone.
I can try that. I have that capability with these toys. Let's see here. All right.
Lauren, I don't remember if we asked what part of the world you're watching from.
And the links were there, Dr. J, on the Android, my Android phone. So a mystery we'll have to think about.
I know how to get the link to Zina. Lauren, Seestar has a built-in dual band filter. That's the big difference between Seestar and hello, Jacob. Oh, South Dakota, okay. I envy the dark skies that you guys have in the Black Hills. Gina, I sent you the link on our secret channel. I ran my South Dakota Marathon in 2014 October, and it started at the Crazy Horse Monument, went around and went through the Black Hills, and I was fortunate enough to find myself running with one of the Lakota elders, and it was a very good experience. Seestar, hey. Seestar has built in both infrared and dual band filters, and allows you to switch between the two. And right now the infrared is passing everything, and the dual band is the one doing the filtering. It has an O3 and an H-alpha filter, so it's passing two narrow bands, one in the greenish and one in the infrared. Or the deep red, if you will. A DWARF promises to have such a filter in DWARF 3. They do not have it in DWARF 2. So in DWARF 2 we are limited to either pass infrared or block infrared. If we had Stellina out, it has a slightly better filter than Seestar. Jacob, I think Seestar already has an H-alpha. Okay, I hear you. Okay. So we're approaching the 30-minute. Bill, I'd like to go to the Dumbbell Nebula as the next target before it gets too high.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I emailed Sue this morning asking them to give us the option of not storing every single frame when we're doing a capture in DWARF if I do not want all the subs. Because that 64 gig SD card fills up very quickly in one evening by storing at 4K every sub. I'm only asking for the option of turning it off if I don't want to store them. Let's do a demonstration of speed here. Stop it and stop it. That AI enhance takes forever. And let's see if it makes a big difference here. Yeah, it didn't make much difference. All right, now we end the current session. Function okay, Atlas. Let's do Atlas here as well. Find M27. Alright, we're gonna send them both and see which one gets there first. DWARF is already there. And Seestar is thinking about it. I did some planetary with DWARF, but nothing to write home about. Okay, there we go. Jacob, are you using an iPad, iOS I mean, or Android? Because they just announced that they found the problem with the poor centering with the iPhone or the iOS, that it was a bug and they have fixed it and they released new software this morning. Yeah, apparently the very specific bug that they talked about having found in iOS was that of framing. It's already Monday in Hong Kong, so Sue should be awake by now.
Dr. J, I'm just kind of curious. We look at the two images between the dwarf and the Seestar. Clearly, the Seestar does a really nice job on the nebula. And on the dwarf, you see more, quite a few more background stars in the field of view. I was just wondering, is it possible that with the filter on the Seestar that it somehow is reducing or filtering out stars of certain optical wavelengths or something? I'm just wondering what your thoughts are, why there's such a difference in the background stars.
May well be. I'm gonna zoom into dwarf for just a bit. Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. And they're about the same size now. I want to point to this pattern of stars here, which is exactly there. And yeah, in between, I don't know how much this is walking noise versus stars. Because we're certainly seeing the big one and then smaller one and then smaller one and then nothing in between, which is essentially the same here, except the noise here is slightly better behaved.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if it is sensor noise.
I took darks, but
Okay.
that does not appear to be hot pixels.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why the dwarf has this rough background. I mean, if you look at this pattern here and the equivalent pattern there, the surroundings are a lot cleaner in Seestar, and they are a lot dirtier here, even though it's not showing stars, it's just mixtures of greens, reds. Hello,
Yeah,
Tariq.
when you look at the dwarf image, you can almost make out like there's a gridish pattern to those, whatever we want to call them, other than stars, particularly between M27 and the stop shutter button. They almost look like they have an alignment of pattern. Which you don't see anything like that over on the Seestar, but very interesting.
Jacob, what do you mean by compare with Stellarium? I can pull it up, but Stellarium is not going to show the fidelity. Let me pull it up. M27. Stellarium definitely has a very clean background. And it's the carpet or the rug-like background that dwarf is showing that I was referring to. Not so much the stars. It's all this stuff here, which is a mix of red and black and brown and green, but not a single star in sight, which is the same as you see on on Seestar. You're talking about changing the sky survey on Stellarium, correct?
That's
It appears that I'm gonna have to refocus Seestar before the next target. Yeah, it is the rough rug or rough carpet pattern. That's the kind of cheap carpet that you'll find in high traffic areas.
right.
Where the dirt will not show. Actually, Seestar has similar patterns, but not as pronounced.
Right.
Bill, looks like we have demonstrated that our connection has gone beyond 1 hour.
I was just thinking of that. It's hour and 20 right now, so that's a good test.
Jacob, I'm gonna send you a link. Okay, we can mess with the curves. Here you go, happy? We can do the same now with Seestar.
That made quite an improvement on the dwarf.
It has. Unfortunately, it's not very responsive. Okay, what do you have in mind for our last target of the evening? When does Saturn come up? Because that will be a worthwhile exercise.
I'm checking Stellarium real quick here. Yes, for me in Minnesota, it's visible after 11:30.
Let me see what it says here.
I think that's what I just saw. Which would be earlier for you. Yeah, for my location, southeast here in Minnesota, it's visible after 11:51, which is an hour and a half.
Okay, 11:42 rises here. Hello, Emmanuel.
Living out east has an advantage, Dr. J. You get to see things before I do in the east.
What comet do we have in the east? I know that C2021 S3 is out there. We can look for it. I know what you mean. Actually, it is ideally located. Magnitude 10, let's see if they can get it.
Dr. G, I just responded to your earlier text where you sent me, you're going live. I was doing so many different things, I missed it. So thanks for sending that earlier this evening. You'll get a reply probably now, very late.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, DWARF does not have a comet database. (20:03:37). Jacob Zena is not here to interpret the emojis. 37. (62, 48, 40).
Dr. J, Stellarium for me is showing comet P/2004 H Larsen, SEN, rising in the east shortly at my location.
Okay. Which one?
It's P/204 H2 space after the 4, H2 and then parentheses Larsen. LARSEN, let me see, and it's, oh boy. Right now it's 16.36 magnitude.
Okay. That's why the Sky Live is not showing it.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
It's showing me the brightest 13p Olbers and then 12p Pons Brooks is still out there. And then 23A3, 23V4 is one that is in, we should be able to see it's in Ursa Major. But Pan Stars now 2021 S3 is the most visible one elevation wise. I'm gonna go grab a drink of water, I'll be back. Hello, Kathy. Long time no see. How's Hawaii these days? I don't see a comet yet on either of the two screens. Don't know how long we're gonna give it before we give up. Okay, for some reason, dwarf is not stacking yet, or was not stacking. Let's call it operator error. Well, we forgot to refocus here, so we'll do that now.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I forgot to.
People complained that the dwarf autofocuses for every target, so they removed that feature. I was actually liking it, but folks who are using the Batinov mask complained that it messes up their focus and they'll have to redo it manually. And surprisingly, the DWARF lab folks have been extremely responsive to feedback, to the point where they are issuing patches and updates and upgrades all the time. Thanks, Kathy. Bill, I have a question for you, and probably for Jacob and others. Should we look into giving audio access to all the regulars?
I think that would be really fun, Dr. J. I think, it would be a good way to really carry on the discussions when we get into technical things and so on. But yeah, I would encourage it if everybody else wants to give it a try. This has been fun.
Yeah, I don't know about the everybody. I will probably restrict it since it's by invitation only.
Right. Right.
We know who the regulars are.
Like Cheers, the regular crowd shuffles in, and we know them. Yes. Yeah, I think that'd be really a good, nice thing to try and see how many of our friend regulars would jump in. So I've enjoyed this.
Okay. Let me look into it during daytime. The weirdest thing happened to the big scope. I was getting everything ready, and I sent it to Vega. It got there. I tried plate solving. It succeeded. I sent it to M92, and it went there and then returned immediately and said sync failed. I had never seen that error message before. But then from that point on, while the RA and DEC were stationary, the azimuth and altitude were changing very, very rapidly, and I could see the stars just streaking across the screen. But RA and DEC were not changing. So I stopped it, rebooted it, and when I rebooted it, it just started going round and round in circle trying to rip the cords, the cables.
Yeah, I remember that night. It was very unusual watching it do that.
So I turned it off, and I will look at it during daylight.
What happened to the big scope again today? I missed a part of that when you mentioned that earlier tonight.
That's what it did.
Oh, that's what it, okay.
For whatever reason, by failing to sync, whatever that means, it created a disconnect between RA DEC and Alt-Az. So I was looking at the numbers as to where we were, and there was no relationship between them.
Wow.
Even though it was supposed to be at 180 and 90, basically supposed to be pointing straight up, it was not. It was pointing down and moving as fast as it can round and round.
Wow. That would be a little bit scary to watch as you watched it.
Yeah, and that led me to do some serious thinking about the remote site.
Right.
I mean, the worst that can happen with a dwarf or a Seestar is going to be a lot less expensive than... I mean, here I rushed down 2 flights of stairs. It wasn't too bad with 2 dogs between my legs. But to run 3.5 miles to fix a problem like that is going to be impractical.
Something you might want to consider is they're very cheap. I have a few around outside wireless internet cameras.
Oh, I have one. I have one in the dome.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just thinking that would be a nice thing to have in your remote site 3 miles away, so you could, watch your the observation. But you probably already thought of it.
Yeah. When we talk about Oswego, which is 50 miles away, I am almost to where I want to be with the remote controlling the big scope and the dome from here. The folks there don't seem to be as concerned as I am with what would happen if I lose internet connectivity and at the same time Meade is going crazy. I bought an IP controlled power switch. Don't know if you have seen these, but it relies on a heartbeat. If I lose communication with it, I can instruct it to shut down the power on the scope. If I lose communication for more than, say, 10 seconds or whatever programmable interval.
Right.
It also has the ability to ping well-known sites like YouTube and Facebook and Google and so on. And if it stops hearing from them, it knows it's no longer connected to the outside world and it can turn off the power. It also has the ability to recycle power as needed. And I tested it very thoroughly here at home, and it does everything I want it to do. With only one caveat. If internet goes down at just the right time when I lose control of the telescope, then we have a major 250-pound problem. The Meade has hard stops. So if it revolves more than 360 degrees in either direction, it's going to hit them and hit them very hard and keep hitting them. And I witnessed it once, and it's not a pleasant sight at all. You're talking about this massive thing banging against metal repeatedly. Bang, 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 bang.
That would be tough to watch. Yeah.
Well, if I were the engineer designing that scope, I would have put a switch there, an off switch.
Right. Thinking along those lines, the drones. In fact, I bought one just about the same time, first one ever, when I bought my Seestar last fall, as you probably know. And then if the drone loses communication back to your controller, it will fly back to you and land right in front of where you took off. So
Yep.
Having a feature like that on a telescope would be really good. And your system you just described is, and then would be neat if it put the telescope in a safe position. Whether it's like the Seestar would just close down like it does when power goes up. So but I guess just shutting power off to a telescope would do the same thing if there was a loss of communication.
Now, I learned through trial and error that when I send a command to the Meade from Stellarium or from SharpCap or from any external software through ASCOM, it will keep repeating that command until you send it the opposite command. So if I tell it to move right, it does not just move right while I have the mouse pushed down. It'll keep moving right until I stop it.
Okay.
And if it's a slew as opposed to a nudge. And if for whatever reason that follow-up command does not make it, that thing just flies out of control.
Hmm.
I also discovered that if I have the hand controller in hand and I push any key on it, it'll stop moving.
Hmm.
So I tried implementing a remote hand controller, and I was able to implement one, but then we are in the same situation. If I lose communication. Hello, Larry.
Oh. Didn't see Larry.
Larry, I'm going to send you a link. Actually, I'm going to post it right away. And if you wish to join us by audio, you can do that. Which leads me to find out how to do that. I'm getting there. Haha, I got it. Copy. Larry has no mic, so that does not help.
Oh.
I need to find out how we can allow people to dial in by phone.
Would Zoom be an option?
Well, since we are on YouTube, I'm using Google Meets because it integrates more readily.
Oh, okay. I see. Yep.
Yeah, when we create the next invite, I will see how to go about getting phone numbers as well if people want to call in as the audio path.
I'm using Meet on my phone. Perhaps next time I'll just use it right on the either the tablet or my Chromebook here, and have both windows going side by side, something like that.
Yeah, I have it minimized since we're not using cameras.
I'm going to go out, step outside quickly and see if I can see the ISS. Should be coming by in about 4 minutes.
Okay, we'll be here.
Hopefully, PRB doesn't explode. I'm done.
Larry, we're experimenting with giving the chat folks the ability to chat via audio as well. Jacob, are you still online? Because we may or may not be seeing any comment here. Okay, here's the link if anybody wishes to join with the audio. Please turn off your camera and turn on your microphone. And you're welcome to join us.
So with you, Dr. J, we have some very high, thin stratus clouds, but I believe I'll be able to see at least half of the pass. There's out nice to the east and northeast, and that'll be the path tonight. So,
Okay.
and with your permission, I can I'll turn my camera on and try to point it up and see if you can see it on the meet.
I should be able to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can share it though.
Oh, sure. This one is at about a 46 degree at its highest point. Too bad. There we go.
Saturn is already at 2 degrees, so we're going to give it another half hour or so, and then we'll try to chase it. Comets are not looking at all good here. So I'm going to give up on the comets and see if there is anything else in the sky before Saturn comes up.
only was able to see glimpses of the ISS between breaks in the clouds for maybe just a cumulative 1 minute out of the 4 or 5 minute pass. But I didn't think the clouds would be that thick, but they were.
Okay. I have not done the Veil nebulas with dwarf before. I want to see what they look like, if they look like. With just 2 frames, Seestar is already showing colors. Hi, Robert. No, I am not on the Deep Astronomy Discord. I am pretty much on my own with a bunch of regular folks like Bill Peterson and Larry Christensen and the names that you see in the chat. Just a group of folks interested in astronomy. We try to go live whenever the skies and the clouds permit. Unfortunately, DWARF is not doing at all on this one. What a difference between the two, between Seestar and DWARF.
Yeah, very pronounced difference on the veil.
Well, Robert, we're glad you stumbled upon the channel, and if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Google does not make it easy at all to find information on how to upgrade the workspace. Thank you. Thanks, Robert. And tell all your friends to subscribe. This is a funny question, Larry. I don't see me getting to 500K. At the rate in which we are growing, the Social Security Administration says I have 17.8 years to live. And that's going to be about... That's why the future home of the Pompey Observatory is going to be next to a cemetery. The part that really tickles me is there is a young woman who was in her first year of college when the pandemic hit, so she was a freshman in 2020, and plunged into depression and bad eating habits, and 2 years later she woke up and decided to go to the gym. She showed up to the gym in her sweats because she did not know what to wear for the gym, and she posted a video of her first workout at the gym in wearing sweats. It got 21 million views. So she quit college and got herself some outfits that are better than the sweats, and now has social media presence in every imaginable medium with hundreds of thousands of views every time she works out, posts her videos. Or the guy who just got 100 million views on a video that shows how you can drag 2 garbage cans behind you at the same time by sticking the cover of one under the cover of the other. I kid you not. That's how he discovered he can move his recycling bin and his garbage bin in one hand. 100 million views. Larry, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. Enjoy gagging with you guys. I don't know what I'll do if there are 500,000 Bill Petersons online at the same time.
Well, we'd be busy if you had that many at the same time. There's a YouTube website. I can't remember. I think it's in Pennsylvania, I'm guessing, but it's a train trestle bridge that still is operated when the trains go over, but the clearance between the road and the bridge is like 9 feet, 11 inches. And they've got warning signs, you know, all there, like, beware if your truck or a thing is over 9/11. So this YouTube gets thousands of watches of cars, trucks, rental vehicles like a Penske truck try to get underneath this bridge, and the bridge doesn't move. So the trucks and the collisions and what happens to the vehicle is just hilarious, watching the roof of a semi get sheared off. But millions of people watch it. I admit I've watched it because it's funny, but yeah, it's amazing what people like to watch.
Let's see how high Saturn is now.
Dr. J, do you have a clear view of Ursa Major at this time? I'm just curious if it's.
I do.
Maybe another time, but I think we talked about it. It'd be interesting to. I've always been interested to see if the star Mizar, which is the second star from the end of the handle towards the bowl. I've known it's a double star, but I read one fairly recently that it's a double star. So for each of the two stars, they each have a companion orbiting star. And I'm sure either the dwarf or the Seestar obviously could make a resolution on that, but not a big target, but something to be fun to take a peek at sometime.
Let's see if we can find if either of them knows how to find it.
Yeah, spelling is M-I-Z-A-R, Mizar.
M-I?
Yeah, Z-A-R, Mizar.
Yeah, there it is, double star.
Okay.
Make sure we have what we need. Too far behind us.
Oh, okay.
312. Yeah, I could get to 350 on a good day. We'll be able to see it from the new location.
Great. Thanks for checking. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
There
Let's go see if we can find Saturn now. By the way, I don't know if you were online when we imaged the Saturn Nebula. It came out very, very nice. I wonder where C55 is right now.
That I don't recall.
It is doable. Let's hop on it. I think I imaged it with the big scope with the 11-inch. Hello, Wilbur. Wilbur, do you have a microphone and do you want to join us via audio? Palouse Reefer, do you have a microphone and do you wish to join us via audio? See, there you go, Bill.
Time to reconsider. There is time if you want to reconsider.
It's not letting me zoom any further. I don't know if you can see the rings around that nebula that makes it look like Saturn.
Sort of.
Whoa. 8 degrees should be doable. Oh yeah. That's the best we're getting of Saturn on dwarf. 4 pixels. I don't know if focus is gonna help in any way. Okay, made it 5 pixels at best. I think we're seeing the moons. Okay, this is not gonna be anything fun. Seestar has a slightly better chance. The moon is still too close to the sun. It's hugging the sun. So there is Saturn. Let's see if it lets me go into planetary mode, if that makes any difference. So this is Saturn with the Seestar. I don't know that stacking is going to make much difference. Gentlemen, it's approaching bedtime. We had some successes. Bill, I think we should be able to use the same link, but I will resend it next time I go live. This way, if you wish to join us via audio, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. J. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. So thanks for setting the test up. Appreciate it.
Wilbur and Larry, I'm starting a text campaign. Bill started it. If you want to receive a text message on your cell phone when I go live, just email me your cell phone number and I'll add it to the automatic notification. If not, don't worry about it. In the meantime, I'm going to bring the telescopes in and try to grab some sleep before the dogs wake up. I know I have my work cut out for me tomorrow to find out why the iOptron mount went crazy. I dread the thought of having to bring back the CGX mount and put it there. That's the one where the control board burned and we replaced it. I hear you. Okay, good night everyone.
Good night, Dr. J. Thank you.